everyone, welcome to the IOD retirement party. This is Michelle from Serendipity House. You're on the IOD page and I hope that's where I am too. Say hello when you come on. I'm just going to find myself here. Here I am. All right, I have got a fun project and I'm going to announce the new retired transfer. The new retired transfer is actually one of the first ones that I used on a piece of furniture, and I still even have that piece behind me in my workshop. Can you see it? Can you tell what it is? It's the Wildflowers Botanicals. This is a fun. This is a fun transfer with lots of great distressing, and we are going to be doing making some wood growth charts today with this. And I've got two different versions, so you can see how how this particular transfer looks on a light color and a dark color. Okay, say hello when you come on. Where are you watching from? Hi, Allison. Thanks for watching. Oh, what an exciting day. Did you guys catch Lynn? I just watched Lynn do her great Be Thou transfer, the large transfer. I'm going to put this aside to show you how I started. I am actually, let's see. I am actually not going to work quite as quickly. She was making me nervous when she was cutting those transfers, boy. All right, hi Melanie. Hi Dale and Carrie. It's just me here. I don't have a cool assistant to bounce off of, so I'm going to talk a lot to myself and talk to you. Hi Deborah, I'm in New Hampshire also. It is about 15 degrees today. It is freezing here. So I'm happy to work with flowers. Okay, so let me show you what we start with. What I started with is I just went to Home Depot and I looked around a lot for inexpensive boards that were actual real wood, something that I could paint and not have to cut. And I ended up finding these pine boards. I think they were like $13 or $14 each. They were already cut. They're 1 by 10, which actually makes them about 3/4 by 9 1/4. And they were already cut at 7 feet high. And I had a great chat with a guy at Home Depot about how by the time you get that height, you really should be moving out of the house and not measuring your height anyways. So perfect height. Okay, so this one is, the name of the transfer that's retiring, Linda, is Wildflower Botanicals. Okay. And we're going to be transferring it on a whiteboard as well as on a stained board, just so you can see how it looks great and different against different colors. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside for now. We're going to work on the whiteboard. So what I've done is, hi Suzanne, hi Susan. What I've done is paint this board and I already have done some steps ahead of time, otherwise we'd be here stenciling for hours, right? I've painted, sanded, and sealed this, okay? A little something about as I start setting this up. The transfers today, we are going to be going live every hour on the hour here. A stockist is going to be showing you a new product that is being discontinued. We all have stock. I saw on Lynn's that people were worried about it selling out, and so having to order from your stockist every hour. You could wait till the end of the day because there is stock right now that we have. So I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't freak out about ordering every single hour, just to make you feel a little better. Okay. And if you have any questions about that, just ask. Hi Cheryl, Mary, and Linda, and James. Okay, so there's tons of tutorials actually out there on how to make these growth charts, and I actually have been seeing them in like Home Goods and Wayfair. You can bet that those are made on MDF, so go get pine, make your own, make it personalized. These are way, way better. Because I am messy and also a tad bit anal, I got stencils because I'm going to be doing this more than once. And some people just use a ruler and make the lines. There may or may not already be a messed up version of this on the back of this board. Not telling. But a stencil, which you can get at a craft store, for me, well worth the money if you're going to make more than one. And I'm not even fabulous at stencils, I got to tell you. But I think I would drive myself nuts if I tried to measure and make all these little lines for the growth chart. You're brave if you've tried. They make it look easy. I think it would take me hours and hours. This is one of the few things I actually do use tape for. So the way that this one is started, and I like this too, is that it starts already at, it starts so that you can put, the 1 foot is 6 inches up, so that you can put this on a wall and hang it above your baseboard. As opposed to some that I've seen where they're just leaning on walls and they start, ooh, my transfer's slipping. I could hear it. Still have to be really careful not to have that fold back on itself. Okay. I usually don't open them till I use them. But anyway, so this one is made to go mount on the wall and start at 6 inches up. Perfect. It's another reason to have the solid wood is that you want it to be able to be mountable, and you want to be able to drill into it without having the wood split or crumble. Hi Bonnie. Hi Tracy and Susan. How are you guys today? All right. So we just have a little bit to stencil, and then we're going to get on to using the transfer. So I am just using a clay chalk-based paint. As I said, this is already sealed, so it shouldn't bleed. And all you need to have to stencil is a flat brush. And the trick to it, as I said, I am not fabulous at stenciling, but I have found that the trick to it is to really less is more. You put a little on your brush, and then you're just going to pounce. And the stencil is pretty, it's nice and thick. See, it's that easy. I could probably tell you more about what not to do when you're stenciling than I could about what to do. That's how many times I've messed up. Some people use a roller, like a little craft foam roller. That works too. Hey, Mara. Mara's coming up next at noon. Are you getting ready for your live, Mara? And, yep, so you just pounce. I'm sorry, this probably sounds really annoying. Hi, Marianne and Susan. I'll try to do it fast. One thing I did find yesterday is that there's a little tiny line in between. And so you have to be careful not to get your paint in that line. Like I said, there may or may not be another growth chart on the back of one of these. Actually, the biggest thing that people usually do with stencils is put too much paint on and blur it. You know, it can seep under the lines. This stencil is actually nice and thick, so it shouldn't be a problem as long as you're going straight up and down. Hi, Pearl and Jennifer. I'm going to be using the retired Wildflower Botanicals today. Now, the retiring transfers, actually, what that means is that they're not going to be manufactured anymore. We have already bought some, and we've got them to sell, and there's plenty of most, but we're having a party to say goodbye, to make room for other designs. Well, these transfers are still hot, being sold, being used, because, you know, I kind of think of it like your favorite TV show, you know, that you love watching, that should have ended a couple of seasons ago. And so that's kind of what this is. This is like a fun day. We're celebrating all of the projects and the uses of these transfers because they've had great success and they're beautiful transfers. And also so there's not a million of them circulating out there forever and ever, because you don't want all of your projects and all of your things to look like everybody else's, right? That's my perspective on this. All right, that's done. Let's see how it looks. Wait, I was going to answer a question and I just lost it. Somebody asked about what was retired. Oh, what ones are retired? So we've only announced 2. So this morning, Lynn from, hold your breath a little when you lift that. Lynn from L&J Goods revealed that the large Be Thou is being retired, and I am doing the retired Wildflower Botanicals, and every hour on the hour we're going to announce another one. Okay, so you're going to have to find out gradually through the day. I know that's rough, and there'll be a list at the end. We're just trying to make it fun. Hi Bobby and Diane. So that's that. Easy. I'm going to put this aside and let it dry. Maybe I'll show you the back later. And I'll tell you what I did so you don't do it too. That's the wrong side. Okay. Are we ready to play with the transfer? This one is done and dry. I did this one yesterday. And the reason I did it yesterday and had it done and dry is so that this is all dry, very important. We're gonna rub our transfers over it. And here is, most of you have probably seen the Wildflower Botanicals, right? I gotta fix my backing paper here. This is why it was making me nervous with all the fast cutting on the last one. Okay, I'm going to move a little more slowly, and I'm just going to cut these out. So this one has 4 individual flowers. Look at how big they are. They're great size. And this is one of the first transfers that I can remember using, where it was really easy to cut them apart, layer, and have them in with typography. So let me just cut these out, and then we're going to lace them out, and I'll read questions here. I think there was another question about sealing. I sealed, I'm going to move this before I knock it somewhere. I sealed, because I'm using a chalk style, clay style paint, I sealed mine with a water-based top coat. The water-based top coat will help your transfer to release easier, and it also gives better adhesion. Now, of course, you have to make sure that you don't have any dust or debris or anything on your piece. Okay, now we're going to lay this out all the way down. I love this transfer too, Linda. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm not sure what my design is going to be, but I really want to show, I think, first of all of these colors are going to look good over the black and the brown and the white. So let's lay out a design. I think I'm going to, and I'll move this so you can see it better. I'm just going to drop my pieces on the ground here. I think I'm going to put the long piece right there. And then these, I am going to lay them over some of the, numbers, but I can go back and put them in if I want, or I could just dress this back. I think that that is going to work fine. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think about what to do with all these stems. I think I'm going to take the backing off to see how this looks and then decide. Hi, Susan and Melissa and Lisa. Thanks for joining. All right, I don't want to totally cover up everything. And I'm wondering actually if I want the stem to come off the side. Oh, let's just do that. Well, it's stuck in one place, so I'm committing to this right there. I hadn't planned my design ahead of time. That's okay. I always do on furniture, on the craft things, I'm a little bit more take it as it comes, play it by ear. I think this stencil is from Amazon, but I saw them on, after I had ordered it when I was snowed in and shopping online. I saw it on some other like local small craft stores have them. The only thing that I would just be careful of is just making sure that you get a nice thick stencil, because I've had bad luck with them being such thin mylar when they cut it or whatever it is that they use, that it your paint goes underneath really easily. And it could be that I'm just kind of rough, could be that too. All right, so you use a rubbing tool that you get in your kit and you rub it on. I try to catch a little bit of an air bubble. What you do is you just put a little bit of space underneath, like a little bit of a wrinkle, and then you can push it right off. Such instant gratification. I think what we're going to do is the top and then the bottom, and then figure out how to lay some of the other flowers in the center. So on the other one, what I did that I shouldn't have done yesterday, after I was working on the white one, I had my car warmed up and everything. I was ready to leave, guys, ready to go for the day. And I decided that I should sand. Now, even though I had sealed my paint, guess what happens when you sand black lines over white paint? I was so bummed. I had to stay another hour. All right. You use Mylar 250. Okay, I usually read the reviews, but I don't know all the numbers. You know, do you have a I will go back if I have to type in answers after if I miss questions. But you could use any water-based sealer, Jean. I was going to say, Susan, do you have a Cricut, or is that what it's called, machine? Because I know a lot of people cut their own stencils now. All right, so I've got this going off the page here, and I want to show you. I want to make sure it's stuck, but I've got extra that I didn't cut. How am I going to do this? So it's just going to be, what is it? I think it's just going to stay there, and I'm going to take it off in a minute. Do you guys, would it be better if I put the camera down close, or can you see okay? I can put the camera down close and I just won't be in the picture, which is fine with me, whatever way you prefer. I wish I could do both, but it's hard to do when I can't zoom in and out when I'm here by myself. Okay, I love the natural distress. Okay, so let me grab a razor blade. I think that's how I'm going to get that off there. So normally I put them around the edge, But on this one, because the edges are stained, and I think I'm gonna just have them end on the front. This is why I wear an apron. And I will be, see, well, this is nice and sticky because I got it all over my fingers now. You can just wrap it around. I think with just this particular project, it's nice and neat on the edges, and I'm going to leave it that way. Oh my gosh. I wasn't thinking when I did that. They're very sticky. All right, let's see if I can get this off my fingers and press that down. The yellow looks pretty, and the brown, I'm gonna hold this all up after, because what I love about this particular transfer, and I think this is the first one they did this on, is it's got that natural distressing, and it looks awesome with this. Yeah, it looks great. Here, let me just hold that up, and then I'm going to do the bottom. Let me know if you don't see this okay, and what I'll do is I'll just put the camera down. So can you see the natural distressing on that right through to the wood? I mean, it looks like I worked super hard to paint those on and distress them. They're nice and thin. You can't feel them. All right, I am going to do the red one on the bottom because I like the way, I don't know what kind of flower this is, and I used to be a gardener, but anyways, I like the shape of how this is going to come onto the bottom. Now, obviously the bottom, you know, when you're at a certain age and you're measuring your height, I don't want to cover these numbers up as much because this part is all going to be used, I think. I am going to use the grid line to line it up on the edge of my board. And yeah, I think that's good. All right, and I'm going to press it down, and that's where you've just made your commitment. Thank you, Susan and Mallory. Hi, Erin. These transfers are sold, Nancy, through IOD, Iron Orchid Design Stockists, and I will drop a link in here. Somebody else might also drop a link in here that will bring you to the IOD site to drop in your zip code and find your closest stockist. So you could have somebody who's right by you, and a lot of us also ship. So you shouldn't have any problem finding them, and we're all over the world, always expanding. They're called decor transfers. And they're very easy to use. I mean, there is a learning curve, but you know, if you choose a simple project to start with, very user-friendly. We also, you guys, if you haven't already joined the Iron Orchid Designs Creative Tribe on Facebook, there's a whole bunch of a great group of creative people who, you know, we all share our projects. You'd be sharing your projects and getting a lot of input and advice and help, and it's a great group to belong to if you're not already in that tribe. I could drop that link in here later too. I can remember all this, right? All right, catching a little air bubble. This one went on fast. Typically, the bigger this one isn't very big, but those big flowers that are this big, those go on easier because obviously if you catch an air bubble under that, it's just gonna go. You don't have to rub as much. But you do have to rub after. Make sure to rub it in. And then I usually take a soft cloth, or sometimes I also take the white 000 synthetic steel wool and rub my project. All right, so that's the one we just put on. Now I don't know how you guys are gonna see the whole thing because I'm on landscape. but I need to look at this visually and see what kind of as a whole thing and what I'm going to put on next. And I think what I'm going to do, this was your first transfer, Dawn? Yes, I think they are very user-friendly. I think this piece behind me is the first piece that I did with this transfer over milk paint, and I love it. And it's perfect. The distress is perfect over. That piece is a piece from 1800s. It's an Eastlake. It's old, and I think that I'm going to put some flowers down the line here. Let's see, what do I want to cut out? I know it's sad to see them go, but it's a celebratory thing. It's not a sad thing. I mean, it is kind of sad. I'm not telling you how you should feel. It's sad. But it's a good thing too. Okay, I'm gonna just use half of this, but what I'm looking at is the stems, but I suppose I could go over the stems with another flower. So let me think about this here. I know I'm overthinking it, I'm totally overthinking this. All right, I'm gonna cut down the side. It's going to go right up to that one, and I'm going to cut right along the grid line. Perfect use of the grid lines here. Doesn't matter if these are straight really, but if I just want to cut one in half, there's a lot of them, it does matter. Hi Susan and Bobby Joe. I'm thinking I'm going to do this for a workshop. I haven't done this for a workshop. Do you know what the challenge is? So I just cut the end, and what I'm going to do, because it does bug me to have all of having floating. I keep interrupting myself. I'll get back to that thought. But see, I have a stem here, and it kind of bothers me to have floating stems. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what I'm going to do, just design-wise, is I'm going to take this next flower and I'm going to put it right up there, so it kind of looks like it's going behind it. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, as a workshop, the only issue is that space-wise, you can see this this board takes up so much space. To lay, I'm gonna have to have everybody lay on the ground. I had somebody come in here yesterday, and I had all of these boards, 6 of them out that I was working on, and I wasn't open. I just had my door open because it was 35 degrees warm out in New Hampshire, so I had my door open, and this lady wandered in, and she's zigzagging through all these long boards on my table. Anyways, I think they're fun. They are big, but I think once they're mounted on the wall, they're going to look amazing. Just noticing my camera's shaking a little bit there. Super easy. Find yourself an air bubble. I cut the bottom here, so before I get an air bubble, I want to make sure that stem is on. There we go. Okay, so if you can lift it up on a corner, lift up a little bit, get a little bit of a wrinkle in your transfer, in the top paper rather, and then push that wrinkle. Ride the wave, as we say. That's your air bubble. All right, now I have, oh, look at this. That is even better than the other one because of the white, and you can see the brown behind it. We're gonna put another half a flower on there, but look at the distress. Look at the natural distress. And I picked boards too that had, dings and knots and all of those imperfections because I really like that look. The chair behind me, Linda, the chair behind me is a chair that I've painted forever ago. Ooh, look what I can do. I'm going to take the other half of this, and because there's no stem, I can use it upside down. I'm just going to cut this green off right there. I started painting this chair 4 years ago in my garage when I was like, oh, people paint, can you really paint chairs? So I never finished painting it, and what's thrown over it is a piece of material that I bought at Joann's. I cover benches with that, but it looks like a cozy throw. All right, you can find a use for everything, you guys. You got to be creative with these transfers. So I'm going to layer right over the one I just did to cover up the stem. Again, I'm just winging this. It's going to be covering up part of the 4, but I think people know that that's the next number. And I'm going to press it down and find an air bubble. Susan, what time are you on? Susan Mencisador from the Weathered Barn is saying hello here, and she is coming on later. I don't want to mess the times up because it's all, we're announcing Eastern time. But Susan is going to be doing a live later as well. It would be great if you're loving this video. Go ahead and share it and get it out there. That'd be awesome. And if you're not already following my page, Serendipity House, I would love you to come over there. Follow me and say hello. I've always got tons of projects going on. All right. Love, love, love. All right. I really wish I could get this whole thing in for you guys to see. I don't know how to. I think I'm going to leave this area blank. All right, let's move on to the whiteboard and see how the transfers look on the whiteboard. Make sure after you put your transfers on, I can see little bubbles here. Make sure you go back after you put them on and rub really well. You don't want any air pockets in there, because if you have air pockets, your sealer, because you do have to go back and seal these, your sealer could get under them and lift your transfer or make your bubble bigger, and then you have a bubble in your piece. You don't want that. Or if you do want that, if you do want that, that's how you create bubbles. All right, so this is dry. It dries nice and fast. This is the only one that I didn't use, and I only have a couple of leaf scraps. That one's done. It used about 3/4 of the transfer, okay? This is definitely going on here. I love this flower. And then, I love the blue. Where do we want that to go? And then I'm gonna cut up another one to do the rest of the board. I'm just gonna use the retired Wildflower Botanicals. I'm gonna, let me just look and answer questions, because I've been just talking a mile a minute, you guys. All right, I think I'm caught up. Sometimes I don't see comments until later. I go back, and it's because they just didn't show up on my screen. So I apologize if I've missed you. I will go back after and answer questions. All right. I love this one. I love this one, but I don't want to cover up numbers with it. So I'm going to be a little risky just so I can see, and I'm going to take off the backing, but I'm just going to hold it up. I'm not going to stick it down. I wonder, like, I could put it right over the 6 and then go back in, talking to myself here, and then go back in, and you know what, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut the stems off so that I can get both of these full flowers. Anybody talk to themselves when they're working. I talk to myself. This is just natural. I mean, you may as well be filming me because I talk to myself anyways. And I make decisions out loud while I'm talking to myself, which is what I just did. It seems perfectly normal to me. I realize there's not another person here, so I guess that makes it safe. Okay, all right. I'm cutting the stems off because I want to get both of these flowers in here. I love this blue color. So we're gonna just see if I can get that to fit better this way. Hey, great minds, Rindy. I did separate the two flowers. I didn't see you said that, but all right, I'm gonna put some weight at the top. So I want this big one at the top, and also because I don't think the 6 is real important. I mean, awesome if you get to 6 feet, but all right, so that's gonna go there. I guess we may as well just rub that on and then look at the next one. I'm a blue person. I really love the combination of the blue and green in this one. And again, wait until you see the how the distress looks with the white behind it. I just really love how that brings the project to the next level. Sorry if the screen just, I got a phone call even though I put it on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Just make sure that you got everything down. It feels staticky. All right, I'm gonna rub that on. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna wrap this one just so it's different than the last one. And look, I just rubbed this off. Okay, I'm gonna put it back down. That's why you need to be gentle. I think I got a little carried away there. It wasn't stuck down and it got stuck on my finger. All right, but look at that. Sorry. You can see the distress there. See the white right through there? I love that color. Okay, now I wouldn't have put that down on the one just because the bottom of this for a kid's growth chart is kind of important, but the top I don't care as much about. It would make a great shower gift, you're right. Okay, so now these don't even necessarily need to be together. Let me cut out some another one, and you know, I could do this one in with more than one of those blue flowers actually. Whoops, I just dropped a stick on the floor. I've got like 5 sticks out though because I'm always losing them. I'm very good at misplacing sticks. Okay. These also, this transfer also is fun and looks really great if you put it on like sap buckets or metal buckets. I love it on that. Or signs, and you could put typography right over it. Okay, I might use that. If this was a sheet of all just these blue sunflowers, I'd be all into that too. I love. And then, oh, the dresser I put, that I made behind me that I showed you, I have a mirror, a matching mirror, and this is what I have that I put on the side of the mirror to go with it, to tie it all together. So that's a good way to work everything in. I'm gonna do this the same way. I'm gonna cut this out. Does anybody have any questions? I hope I'm not losing a bunch of Missing a bunch of questions here. Give some likes and loves and some interaction here if you would for Facebook. We're always trying to keep the Facebook gods happy, aren't we? All right, so I've got another flower, and then I've got this. Let's see. I'm gonna cut this in the same one so that they match, kind of. Here we go. Let's see if I can fit one of these on the bottom. I'm going to take it off. I wish I could put it on the left, but seems a little too, well, maybe I can. I'm trying to decide if covering up some of the marks on here is okay. I'm going to say yes, it is, and I'm going to put that right there. I just committed. I'm going to push it down. Hi, Charlotte. So far we've got this Wildflower Botanicals and the large bead owl that is being retired today. And I need to get this notification off my screen so I can see. There we go. So every hour on the hour, we're going to be doing more. And I think it's safe to say that you don't have to order every hour from your stockist. You could probably wait until we're done revealing them all and order at the end of the day. We've got them in stock. We've been preparing for the party. All right. I think the problem with rubbing these is that I've got a whole bunch of them on my fingers. And also the board is a little bit rough because I've got like little indentations. All right. Do you guys think I should put some of the white in and mix it, or keep this one with just the blue flowers? I'm thinking blue. And I don't want it to be too busy. Sorry, my design brain is going right now. Oh, let's just do it. Let's just do it. These also look really good against dark colors. Like you would think that maybe they wouldn't show. They totally show up. They totally show up. Against black, they look amazing. A navy blue. Alrighty. I think when I'm done, I'm going to have to somehow figure out how to get a picture of these standing up to fit into the frame. That looks good. Okay, let's cut this in half, and I'm going to use half and half. I think I might use some of these in halves too. Only problem is brick and plaster. Oh yeah, I never think of that. You're right, putting them in brick and plaster. The boards that I'm using are 1 by 10, which makes them actually more like 3/4 of an inch thick by like 9.5 inches wide. And they're 7 feet high, and they were pre-cut like this, pine boards in Home Depot. All right, I'm using the grid line again. If you're just tuning in, I'm going to just remind you guys again that we have got lives going all day long today, every hour on the hour for our retirement party. And now I wish I didn't cut that, but all right, I got an idea. And we'll be announcing every hour a new transfer that is being retired. We've only announced 2, Be Thou and this one. This is Wildflower Botanicals. All right, I'm going to transfer one more. And then I'm going to see if I can back up and show you what these look like leaning. I really just love the distress. If you have not used this transfer yet, I recommend you use it and get it while it's a very versatile one. It's actually been quite popular. You can get a lot of projects out of one transfer. They're 24 by 33 inches is the size of the whole sheet. And now this one, you know, it's 4 different flowers in it, so it comes out kind of differently than that. I've got transfer sticking to the bottom of my shoes. All right, I cut this, but I'm gonna piece it back together. Right here, because I can. Let me see. Yep. All right, here we go. So even after you cut it, if you change your mind, I change my mind all the time. I gotta be careful because I've got little pieces stuck and it's lifting. Okay, I'm gonna piece that right back together. See? The only thing I have to do is be careful not to rub onto where it's already released. And I'm gonna get my razor blade and cut that off right there, because I can still use that somewhere. And you could layer these, so I'm going right over the one I just transferred, just to make that whole again. All right, I think these are pretty much done. I'm gonna just lift it up. I like to step back and take a look at the whole thing to see how it looks. Let me lean this over here, and then I'm gonna show you guys hopefully what they look like standing up. And you can see all right. Alrighty, how much? Whoops. I flipped the camera around. You probably just saw a huge mess. Okay, so here's what they look like. I know I'm back very far and it's backwards now, but I'm gonna finish up a little bit more on the white, and I am gonna seal these with a water-based sealer. Any water-based sealer will do. And first I'm gonna make sure that they're really burnished in. That's the trick. So they'll be posted on this page, and if you can go over to Serendipity House, they'll also be posted on my page. All right, stay tuned. Mara from Vintage Retail Therapy is up next at noon Eastern Standard Time, and she will announce the next retired transfer. So have a great day, and go do some crafting, guys. Bye.